One of the heroes in this week's Sedra is Reuven, because Reuven attempts to save Yosef from the designs of his brothers, from being killed or being sent to the pit, and worse, being killed. And the Medrash in Rus comments on Reuven's actions. And the Medrash says, Im Adam osa mitzvah, if a person wants to do a mitzvah, ya'asena b'levav shalem. A person should do it with a full and complete heart, with a great verve, with excitement, with a passion. You shouldn't just do a mitzvah half-heartedly. And the example, or one of three examples that the Medrash gives us, is Reuven. What does the Medrash say? Had Reuven known that his actions would be recorded for all time in the Torah, by Hashem in the Torah for eternity, he would have done this very same action with much greater passion and with much greater fullness. He would have taken Yosef on his shoulders and marched him right back to Yaakov Avinu. So this Medrash does not seem to be praising Reuven. This actually seems to be somewhat critical of Reuven, because what it basically seems to be saying is that Reuven was only doing this because he thought he would have only done it with a greater sense of purpose, and he would have done it in a more fulsome way had he known that he was going to get credit for it. He didn't know that he was going to get such credit, so he did it in a half-baked way. That doesn't seem to be much of a shavach to Reuven. Rabbi Yisachar Frand suggests that in the context of the other examples as well, that the Medrash says that the Medrash is pointing here to a human frailty, and that is that we often tend to look at what other people are thinking about us, whether they're going to be critical of us, or how they're going to perceive our actions, when we know what we're doing is right, and when we tend to be hesitant about it. Now, Reuven did something extraordinary. He tried to save his brother. He knew it was the right thing. And yet he saw all his other brothers, he had to contend with them. They could be critical of them. He could be critical of him. And that made him somewhat hesitant. Had he known that Hashem was going to endorse his actions, he would have done it even more so. But what he did was extraordinary in and of itself. And the message here is clear, that we have to do what we know is right. We have to do what we know is right when it's the right time. When it's the right time to do it, despite the fact that there's so many pressures from what we believe other people are viewing us. Somebody once said to me when I was young, a statement, an idea. A person says, when I'm young, I thought I cared what people thought about me. Then I got middle age, and I decided I don't care what people think about me. And then, as an older person, as a senior citizen, I realized nobody had been looking all the time. And that's how we have to go about life. We have to do what we do. We have to do our mitzvahs regardless of whether people are going to be critical or going to deride us for doing what we do, what we believe is to be the right thing, and to be Ovdei Hashem with great pride, regardless of the ridicule and scorn that might come upon us. Rabbi Menachem Mendel Kasher offers a second view. Rabbi Menachem Mendel Kasher says that in fact, what the Medrash is telling us here is that Reuven acted extraordinarily. Had he realized that what he was doing was so amazing and so fantastic and so heroic that it would be written down for the ages, he would have done it with much greater gusto. He would have marched Yosef right back home to Yaakov on his shoulders. But he thought what he was doing was just, par for the course. He didn't see it as being such a big deal. He's a hero, but he didn't look at himself as a hero. And that's the extraordinary legacy of Reuven, to realize that really nothing that we do is small. A kind gesture to another person, a smile, a hello, just acting menschlich in a store with a person ahead of you in front of the line. There is nothing which is small. Everything has the capacity to be transformative to another human being that you're dealing with. And therefore, if we only realized how powerful we are, how extraordinary our actions are and the impact that we are having on our children, on our family, on our community, on our friends, and that it has ripple effects. Who knows how far down the line. If we only realize that about ourselves, we would take ourselves and what we're doing with much greater seriousness of purpose and do our mitzvos and even the things that we consider to be insignificant with much greater verve, much greater alacrity, much greater zrizus, much greater excitement, much greater purpose. That's the legacy of Reuven. We should be zocheh to carry it on with appropriateness, and we should do it well. Good Shabbos to all.